Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the 25 books I'm going to read in 2025. This is my second year of reading. I only really got into reading last year. I was never much of a reader, so I'm still trying to figure out what my taste is and what I like. My goal this year is to read 50 books. So these are the books that I want to read before the end of the year. Because one of my reading goals for this year, as well as reading 50 books, is to also discover new authors. This author is very, very famous in the fantasy realm. I just haven't read him yet. That's Brandon Sanderson. I don't want to go too deep and start off and commit to reading the Mistborn series and the Cosmic universe or whatever it is. I'm a little bit scared because I'm a little bit of a commitment phobe. So I discovered, I think it's 4 secret novels, or books that he has, because he didn't intend them to be published, but he has a dedicated and loyal fan base. They found out about it and they funded the Kickstarter campaign to get these books published. I have 3 of them, which are the first 3 books on my TBR for this year. The first one is The Frugal Wizard's Handbooks for Surviving. I thought this was really cool. I've also heard that Brandon Sanderson's magic system is really cool. Complicated a little bit, but I'm hoping not so much because this is just a standalone book. It says a man awakens in a clearing in what appears to be medieval England with no memory of where he is, where he came from, or why he is there. He's chased by a group from his own time. So this could be fun. The second book I want to read from Brandon Sanderson is this one, Focusing Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. I just adore this cover. I like all the covers. I really wanted to get the special edition hardback one, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And I wasn't willing to spend like $100 on a book. So this is what we're working with. I'm really excited for this one because I haven't read a book where it's like with like an Asian type of origin or anything like that. I don't really know what it's about, to be honest, because I want to go in blind. I am going to Japan in March this year, so I want to read it either before then or when I'm in Japan, because I think that could be really cool. I also want to read this one, Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. He wrote this book for his wife, which is really, really cute. A lot of people wanted it published, so it is now published. The fact that he wrote it just for his wife is so, so cute, and I'm really excited. I'm thinking it's kind of a little bit more romance than maybe some of the other books that I showed previously. The next book that I want to read is part of a trilogy, but it's not yet out. It is called Fearless by Lauren Roberts. I read Powerless and Reckless. I also read the novella this year, Powerful. This series is about Peyton and Kai. Peyton's the female main character and she's an ordinary, and a lot of ordinaries in this world get killed because they don't have powers. Kai has powers, and unfortunately she doesn't. In the first book, I think if you like Hunger Games, you would like this book because there's a lot of trials. And then the second book, Reckless, is more like the romance between Kai and Peyton. The last paragraph or the last page in this book is insane. It ends on a like plot twist, cliffhanger, and that's why I need to read Fearless immediately. So really excited for that one. I'm not gonna even bother taking out all of the books from the bookshelf. I want to read the Throne of Glass series. I read ACOTAR, which you can see is up here, last year, and I loved that series. I realized from that I liked romantasy. Both of these series were on my list for last year, but it's just too much. Like ACOTAR is 5 books. A Throne of Glass is 8 books, so together it was just like too much to commit to. So I loved ACOTAR. I like Sarah J Maas. So now this year I'm going to start Throne of Glass. I'm so, so excited. I know there's a couple of different ways to read the order of the books, which is so weird. Like, why isn't it very clear? I heard that like Sarah J Maas put on her website her preferred order to read the book, so that's the order I'm going to go with. All I know about it is it follows Selena Sardothian, who is an assassin, and she's like 16 years old, and that sounds really cool, so I'm excited for that. Now, I've heard a lot about this series. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I won't know until I start reading it. And that is Emily Wilde's. There's a trilogy. I have the first two because the third one isn't out yet. So the first one is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. The second one is Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. I love the foil detailing on the hardcovers. The fact that they're two different sizes obviously annoys the hell out of me, but we will live and move on. I know this series is about Emily Wilde and she's like a professor or something, and she has a lot of knowledge about fairies. So she writes in the first book an encyclopedia about them, and then the map. And I think the last one's a compendium of tales or something like that. I started listening to it a little bit on audio last year, but it did not work well. I didn't get through the first chapter. I find that the writing is very lyrical, which is great, but not great to listen to. I think it's better to be read. So I'm excited to read these. As you can tell from this stack, I love reading Ali Hazelwood, and she has a new book coming out this year called Deep End, and I'm really excited for this one because it's her first college romance. It's between a swimmer and a diver, and I'm really excited because I used to swim when I was younger. I don't do that now. I read 6 books from Ali Hazelwood last year. The only one that I haven't read is the first one, which is Check In Mate, so I'm sure I'll read that one this year. To be honest, I was like trying to pace it out. Oh, I did read another book by her, which would be the 6th one. What was it called? Two Can Play. It was like a novella that was only available by audio last year. I read that one too. You're probably like, oh my god, I can't believe she doesn't put all her romance books and all her Ali Hazelwood's books together. Why are they spread out and organized by color? She's a menace. And to you I say, you're right. Speaking of new authors that I want to read in 2025, Nora Goes Off Script. It's by Annabelle Monaghan. It's romance, but I think it's more women's fiction, which I also like. I like literary fiction, and I haven't read this book or any books by Annabelle Monaghan at all, but if I like this book, then maybe I'll read others. This story is about Nora, and she's like a screenwriter for movies. She sold her script and they're shooting the movie at her house. The male character in the movie wants to hang back and chill out with her after the movie has finished wrapping up. So I think it explores their relationship after. I heard that Annabelle Monaghan's characters are often women in their 30s, like mid to late 30s. I think Nora's like divorced, have 2 kids, so she's at a later stage in life, and I like reading about characters that are a little bit older because I think it's a little bit more mature. I like college romance and high school YA, but sometimes I like to read older people because I'm older, I guess. Sarah Adams is coming out with her 3rd and final book for the When in Rome series, which is called Beg, Borrow, Steal. I read When in Rome last year. It was okay. It was my favorite. It kind of just reminds me of like a really bad Netflix romance comedy movie, or maybe it's more Amazon because they have worse movies. Anyway, and then I read Practice Makes Perfect, which is the 2nd book in the When in Rome series, and that follows the male main character in the first book. His sister is the main character in the 2nd book, so I think that the last book is going to be about his other sister, who has not been in any books until this year. Anyway, so I'm really excited to read that, and the little small town vibes. I love small town romance books. They're one of my favorite tropes. Another author that I have not read is Catherine Center. I think they're a little bit more closed door. I'm not too sure because I haven't read any from her yet. I have this one called Hello Stranger, and it's about Sadie, who is an artist, and that's her dream to become an artist, but she has been told that she is suffering probably temporarily facial blindness, which is when you look at someone and their face is all jumbled up, and that is not ideal in her line of career chosen path. And I am really excited to read this. I think the cover is so cute, so it could be really cool. I love discovering new authors and figuring out different types of writing, so this will be fun. I have had this book for a few months now and I haven't read it yet. So it is going to be my TBR for this year, and that is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I read, where is it? A novel love story by her last year, and I was very let down, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't the only one that felt like this. It sounds like other people are also upset by the promise of like how good this book was going to be, and it just didn't hit, it didn't deliver, but the idea was amazing. But everyone always talks about this book, The 7-Year Slip. So I think it's about time travel. All her books have magical realism, which this one also does, and there's a little bit of romance. So I'm excited to not be hopefully let down by Ashley Poston. No, I feel really bad, but I'm really excited to read this book. I also have another book by her, The Dead Romantics. This one, I'm a little bit scared to read this one first, to be honest, because I heard it's kind of like there's a ghost or something. I don't really know what it's about, to be honest, but I kind of do that on purpose because I like to go into books a little bit blind and not know what I'm getting into. So this one kind of like put me off because it's called The Dead Romantics, and the main man character is a ghost writer, and I'm not really into supernatural things, so why did I pick this up? I'm hoping if I like this one, The 7-Year Slip, it'll encourage me to read this one without being too scared. One of my 6-star reads last year was this book right here, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I loved that book. I loved it. It was just so cool. Because of this book, I also read Carrie Sotomayor's Back last year, and Taylor Jenkins Reid is coming out with a new book this year, and it's called Atmosphere. It's set in the 1980s. It's women's historical fiction. It's about, I think she's a college professor, or she's a scientist, a female scientist, and she is obsessed with space. She enters into this, I don't know, like competition thing, and because she wants to be one of the first women to ever go into space. So I'm really excited. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm too scared if I read all of her books, there won't be any left. So I'm so excited for this book. I cannot stop thinking about this book to this day, and that is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This was my first Abby Jimenez book that I ever read. I loved it, and she's coming out with a new book this year called Say You'll Remember Me, and it sounds really cute. I think it's about a guy and a girl, and they meet up and have this like fabulous date, but they never meet up for a long time. They keep thinking about each other, and I guess somehow they come back together again. The cover is adorable. It looks really cute. I love Abby Jimenez's writing. After Just for the Summer, I also read Part of Your World. That is also really cute. Her characters are so deep, and they feel like real people. It's crazy. And the pacing is great. Like, the book is not too thick. I'm really excited. So those are the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. Thank you for watching. Please let me know down in the comments below what are the books that you want to read in 2025. I am very new into my reading journey, so if you have any book recommendations, please let me know. And I'm so excited to be on YouTube and start uploading videos. This is my first one, so thank you for watching. Bye.